Jeff Kaplan finally breaks his silence on why he left Overwatch. So the former face of Overwatch, Jeff Kaplan, was on the Lex Friedman show and talked about why he left Overwatch. And here's a good quote from it. He says, "I got called into the CFO's office and he sits me down and he says Overwatch has to make blank in 2020. And then every year after that, it needs a recurring revenue. And then he says to me, if it doesn't do that, we are going to lay off 1,000 people and that's going to be on you." And that was the biggest FU moment I've had in my career. And that right there is one of the biggest problems with the modern gaming industry. As someone who's been talking about these things and talking about all of these major problems that these out of touch executives, because I'm not coming after the developers, and in every sense of the word, it's not always them. Sometimes it is some of these game devs getting some crazy ideas. And then sometimes you hear it's a suit, it's a corpo coming at you saying, hey, we're going to set some unrealistic standard for you. And then if you don't hit that unrealistic standard for you, we're going to close not only your game, possibly your studio, and that's going to be on you. And to the people who are saying, well, what if that's not true? What if he's lying? Look at the modern gaming industry and you're going to see other examples just like this. For example, let's look at Battlefield. Battlefield was one of the highest grossing, I think it was the best selling game of 2025, and they just laid people off still. Even when your game is successful, these people who are not involved in the games industry, not actively working on games, just writing the checks saying, hey, even if your game is successful, it's not doing enough for us, so we're going to let you go. So I can even see a game like Overwatch that was doing gangbusters at the time still be told, hey, you're not doing enough, we're closing you guys down. And as a super hardcore early Overwatch fan, I was in the early beta. I have literally over 300 hours just on Diva alone. I was crazy about Overwatch. And when Jeff left, you could kind of tell that was the end of an era, because you lost people who were going to fight for that game, fight for that team, and really put in the effort and roll up their sleeves and try to make that game good, because studios do not care about quality products, they care about making money. And again, this is the problem with the modern games industry. We keep laying people off, we keep trying to set these unrealistic standards for these studios, and this is the result. We lose people like Jeff Kaplan at the helm, and that's why so many of the iconic things about Overwatch, or even why Overwatch ended up the way it did, it finally is coming back now, but it took a long time and a lot of work to re-earn that trust. And again, all respect to Jeff Kaplan for fighting the good fight for his studio and his team. He did the right thing in my decision, because if they're not going to fight for you, while I stay at a company that's going to throw you under the bus for an unrealistic monetization process that they know was not going to work. How do you guys